Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Great War. Now, as you know, in the last episode, as we saw the very first year of this World War, which is also known officially as the Mughal Ottoman Imperialist War, which we only have a 2% war score. We already knocked a few allies of the enemy out of the war, particularly the smaller Asian nations like Chu, Yarkand, Chagatai, and another Khorasan. That's another one. Oh, and Austria too, which they were glad to be out of the war because they had an ongoing rebellion over there, so they couldn't participate. So again, this map mode you're seeing here is the diplomatic map mode. So you know, green, the bright green is me, Mughals, and dark green is our allies. Kilwa is a blue, it's another ally of ours, but not yet joined the war, as they're fighting a proxy war of sorts, as we would call it, from the main war, because they are fighting against one of the other factions that were involved, such as the Mamluks and Khorasan. So that's another thing. And whenever their war ends, hopefully we built enough trust from them to for them to join our war, because we are in dire straits in the Persian Front. But I wouldn't say that. You're just being hyperbolic. But nonetheless, there are problems after this first year. One, we've realized that how committed that they are. The number of troops and the regiments stationed over there and sent to the Persian Front, as we call this subcontinent Persia. So therefore, yes, Persia, so Persian Front, as we would call it. But however, the situation in the Balkans, Pontic Steppe, even Poland itself has deteriorated, and things are not looking better on the Italian front, as Venice is the weakest of the entire Allied forces. And we kind of want to save that from total annihilation. But as long as they have ships present in the Gulf of Venice, they cannot enter through there. As well as having to blockade, areas that they're currently taken by the forces of Genoa, Lorraine, and France. Lorraine's also there, so the other smaller European countries are there. So that will remain a problem for the time being. So this is why, for this year, defensive stage continues, but there's a possibility that we'll use a two-pronged counteroffensive and possible minor offensive towards, what's the name of this region? Towards the Mashriq, the Iraq area. So the Basra and Iraq Arabi offensive, just a minor offense, because that area's got a little fortification, which is just going to be another obstacle for them to retake if we were to relieve this front a little, even though it's marshland and it's not a good place to be fighting in marshlands, but neither is for them if we were to take that. And then go as far as Tikrit or Mosul, and then we'll stop short and pull back to the... Oh, and don't forget to take the highlands while we're at it, if they wish to retake high ground, which will be to our advantage. And when Kilwa joins, that would be good for us, because it will draw some of the Ottoman forces to go assist Yemen. If we can knock Yemen out of the war, it'll be easier to knock Hormuz, Yaz, and the Mamluks out of this war. Huh. Well, nobody's had a cast spell against you. But you do have it. And you got an issue of me being, well, that... Because I was looking at other countries for the possibility of fleet basing rights. But it's going to require improving relations. Maliki School. So, 52. Okay, this might work. Well, I'm not looking for an alliance. I'm not looking for an alliance unless they ask us for an alliance. That's not what I'm looking for. We know Portugal has issues with me. I even thought about Naples. I mean, I can't ally with them, but... Alright, now we can try to improve relations, which will work. But I'm only interested in fleet basing rights. Because we're planning on sending all of our navies to there. So all reinforcements, including this fleet, are to be sent to the Mediterranean immediately. So all fleets that are not transport fleets assemble at to Goa. We must all get together. But only one fleet will remain to blockade Hormuz and subsequently Yemen. Like you lot. Take places. And perhaps this is going to be the fleet to blockade Yemen when Kilwa joins the war. So, meantime, return to there. This one stays because we're assembling a large amount of fleets to go around, as the British will be finishing their occupation of French Fouta Jallia. So they'll finish up on that. Again, fleet basing rights for us to, you know, to repair our ships. If you got any shipyards. Grand shipyards. Okay, good. Good to know. Knowing Spain wouldn't let us. England is too far away for, you know, to repair it and redeploy in the Mediterranean. We just need fleet basing rights in Morocco and Naples because it has coasts of either side. But not Siena, because obviously different religion. Whereas we have the same religious school. Well, you don't have issues with aggressive expansion. We're just fellow Sunnis. Give us a break. So we're just looking at it from a political front for now before we continue the bloody fighting that's to come for the spring and summer offensive. So we're going for offensive moves. Just to try to draw some of them this way before we have to pull back to the highlands. While we deploy the Navy to the Mediterranean the long way. So, I guess it would be most wise to improve relations as we both are Sunni and the Maliki school respects the Hanafi. Same for you. Respect the Hanafi. That's what I like to hear. So for now, we're using up the diplomats. And see too if we can get a royal marriage for further improvement of relationship, and then we'll have to ask them for fleet basing rights. So that way we have a safe port for the ships to begin the repairs, and then they'll begin operations by late this year or early next year to defeat the Genoese fleets, assist the Venetian fleet, and figure out a way how to defeat this massive Ottoman Navy. Of the total ships that are out at sea now, especially this one, the one that's got so many galleys, which they will fight very effectively in inland seas. Whereas we lack galleys because we don't fight like that. We're a blue water navy, not a whatever we were trying to describe the other episode. So 2 simultaneous battles will happen as the fleets will be deployed to get ready for what's to come. Come on, force march. Oh, 4th of April. They're going to be on board of the transports. They will make a short stop in Goa. And then they're going to be sent to the Persian Front until the front is stabilized enough where we can handle it. And then we'll send them to take out Yemen. And then the way will be clear to open up a new front line in Egypt. Take the most developed areas. It will certainly hurt their manpower and their economy. But obviously the most developed area is Constantinia. That's what we know. While meanwhile on the Central Asian front will be assisted by more allied nations to occupy, defeat Bukhara, and then defeat Bashkiria. Then the way will be clear to enter into Europe by sending 3 or 4 armies there. And speaking of armies, I came up with this new army template. We're gonna break the rules here in terms of, we usually go for 30,000 strong, but no, 40,000 strong. Commit to Europe. This will be the army that'll go to Europe. There'll be 30,000 infantry and 10 artillery, no cavalry. Because I've noticed that description of that they have way more cavalry, but they go for an emphasis on infantry and artillery. And I thought, well, let's adopt their doctrine as well. But only we'll sort by war enthusiasm, just to see whose nerve is gonna break first for us to be out of the war. As for us allies, we're doing alright. It's still only a year early, and as you can see, the casualties over 319,000 on our end, which is just horrific. More so towards the enemy. Vast majority of those casualties are Ottomans. And they're about to pile up for this coming spring and summer counteroffensive and offensive into Iraq. And there many more will be coming. And that's why we must do this. So we will begin to make it offensive to try to knock them out of the war, defeat their army at least one more time, and then defeat Bashkiria. That one's a weak link as well. And then we will enter Europe through this way, help out the Commonwealth, defeat the Ottomans up north, and armies will be sent to either defeat the smaller states of the Holy Roman Empire, or help out the Venetians to defeat the combined forces of Florence and Genoa. France is going to be an issue, as we well know. While more reinforcements are going to be on their way to the Persian Front, because it's starting to escalate more and more. And by March 1st, we will begin this counteroffensive. As more enemy reinforcements are on the way, and there's no way we can wait this long now. So they will all arrive by the 28th of February. And this one to March. And we're sending ships on, including the transport fleet, which are to pick up 60,000 more. And then they will be sent to Khuzestan at the coast to further bolster those reinforcements. And then on March 4th, they will be arrived there and they'll be sent there, make a quick stop in Goa, reinforce, and then to be sent to Avaz to further reinforce until the front is stabilized with the amount of troops being sent to the Persian front. And then after we'll start dealing with other countries like Yemen, who's been playing a significant role in bolstering the forces of the Ottomans. So we have to take out their nearby Southern Arabian allies. That's how we must do it. And hopefully Kilwa joins the war, with them being 100,000 strong, which could further bolster, the fight against, these countries and all that. Kilwa is likely our best hope to stabilize the Persian front, and then we'll begin to have defense through Iraq, then we'll stop short, and then next year open up the Egyptian front if we can knock Yemen out quickly. While our naval actions will begin operations in the Mediterranean. So for now, let's go. They're pulling back. Not what I had expected. They're turning back. The real question is, will they commit? Because we're about to attack. There was a supply shortage here. The garrison did not surrender. It's good to know. So we will give a go-ahead. This one's gonna have to wait a while. March 4th. Transport fleet leaves and is to be sent to Goa to make a short stop over there at the Konkan coast. The real question is, will they commit? Because we're starting this battle now. And as stated before, they're all moving over there as fast as they can. To there as well. And then we'll pick out a couple of volunteers to be built in bulk. We're only using up this much amount of manpower to create this army, which is to assist the Europeans. To assist our European allies. So it'll take 100 days, at most so. So it'll take a couple of months before they'll be sent, no doubt by next year when we begin to help out a Commonwealth. Well, these three armies will continue to defeat the Bukharan forces. So it's likely they're going to pull all the way back to there. Heaven forbid that they end up in Ottoman territory. But we're committing to this now. Battle starts on the 10th. Movements locked. They are fully committed. And we will have a steady flow of reinforcements. Instead of stopping there, they must head to there immediately. Battle will begin in a few days. Transport fleet arrives on the 12th, and they are to be sent to Avaz immediately. Well, here comes the 3-star general who knows their stuff. Battle is set to begin on the 13th. We will cut off their reinforcements. So we will cut off their flow of reinforcements, but some of them are still going to go down Avaz. Others have turned back when the others hasn't stopped yet. I think it's going according to plan. So definitely cut them off there, even though it's rather risky. But if we can kill them fast enough, then we can help them out there. On the 12th, this arrives. Wait a minute, that's not the transport fleet? Oh, excuse me. Okay, on the 14th. But pay attention. This battle begins on the 13th. Hovizay. None of them's going to Hovizay. They turned around. They're not reinforcing this way. I think they realized that that we got them in this way. Come on. Just hold your ground, damn it. You're the one that took the river crossing. That's hostile terrain for you. Now they've changed their mind. Come on, get in there. To Avaz. As quickly as possible. While we're assembling many fleets, not necessarily Grand Armada, to be sailed all around, which is to participate in operations in the Mediterranean. Not related to the war of Bavaria and Austria. What's it gotta take to get Bukhara out of the war? Just besiege more provinces. That's what it says. We already took their capital, but that's not enough. So 2 major battles take place in the Persian Front, while more reinforcements are on the way, as we've sent all of it that way. And a new army currently being assembled to be sent to the European front once we're done with Bukhara and Bashkiria. It all depends on whose nerve will break first. In fact, that's the leader himself, Osman. He's got a lot of shock. Again, we have to win this battle first, then we can reinforce them. It's the only way to ensure victory. How old is that man? 39. Tactical genius. Oh dear, no wonder. Land leader maneuver. That's applies to not only himself but to all of their generals. Martial educated. Yearly army tradition decay. So that means you're facing a military man here. Militarist. Someone who knows their stuff. And he's been around since 1775. So he knows all about military works. So let's pay our attention to this now, because those are the major battles. This one's going to be a clincher, but they have a crossing disadvantage this way. It's their emphasis on infantry and artillery is what's giving us trouble. We're holding. Our discipline is better than theirs. We have better tactics than they do. So does their morale. They're killing us with fire. And they're beginning to withdraw. We won this day here. Also in other news, we've occupied this territory. Our 3-star general, Bukhara. Again, he's one of the generals that's meant to go to the Egyptian front. Ruthless. Increased land fire damage, so we got the firepower here. Move on. Again, more friendly reinforcements. It's going to reinforce this one. You're all in the force march? Good, because you need to get up there quickly. We'll be there in about a couple of days. Because I think they are really going to commit to fighting up here. But we might get slowed down here. Just hold the line, man. We need to scare them into retreating. Sending more forces this way. We're losing it here. Despite the advantages, but do not worry. He's coming. He's gonna take charge of this battle. If you can just hold on for about 3 more days. 3 more days. And then we will hold this area. If it gets too chaotic, we may have to move up there. You're all sent to be there. And then we gotta figure out the distributing, how many forces we should have to. It depends on supply limit, of course. Especially during the winter months. After all, it's still normal winter up here. Never really thought about it. It all depends on the nerves. So relief will be coming soon. Getting killed out there. And also more reinforcements will be on the way. The other transport fleet, which will make a short stop here, and then it'll be sent to the Persian Front again to further reinforce things. While we will create a new army, which is to be sent to Central Asian Front and then eventually Europe. Until he turns friendly. And we're gonna start looking at it as such. during this offensive, other hard battles are also taking place. They've retaken this area here as the Royal Army, commanded by Augustus Buckingham. Yeah, they're getting away from the French just to try to rethink their strategy, I assume. And since it says occupied by elements, that means French were there. And the French forces are likely going to take over all of the British Alaska, cutting off their flow of reinforcements. Small armies scattered out, but obviously the situation in Europe is not looking great, and that's the reason why we gotta defeat these Central Asian nations. Because we need to do something about that. Quite honestly, if we lose the Commonwealth, we lose the war. Meanwhile, they're killing them off there. Despite the fact they took a river crossing and they're fighting in the marsh. Commonwealth's committing themselves towards the Balkans. Hopefully you relieve pressure on the Persian front by drawing some of them this way. But it will left them exposed. Three more days. Hold them off. Because there's about to be a huge flow of reinforcements. Unless they withdraw. 3, 2, 1. Okay, Vidar Bakran is taking charge. He's gonna add a lot of firepower to this. He's our best general that we got. So their army will arrive in 4 days, on the 3rd of April. It's going to be the first ones, and then it really picks up during that day. And then a couple of more behind them. So I will assume they're going to start withdrawing very soon, despite the flow of reinforcements that's been given in there. While we'll try to reinforce as much as they can, just to try to get there faster. Well, we can't guarantee everything. Action over in Java Sea. North Sea Squadron of Britain, led by Thomas Hudson, and the 4th Fleet of Terre Austria, French Australia, that Nicholas Hedrick. They got a flagship. Thomas Hudson's got the naval combat bonus off being on the coast, because this is their sea. He's got the fire. But it all depends on whose nerves are going to break first. They got 13 ships, 29 galleys. But this is a mainline ship with transport fleet, so I don't think it's going to be good for them. Got the wrong composition. And what are the British doing in Indonesia? I think they were meant to be an expeditionary force, but it seems now they're blocked. Can't help them because we're going to commit to the Mediterranean. Now, will you hurry up and end your damn war? We don't know how much longer that we can hold. So as I said, yes, the situation is deteriorating on all fronts. But it's only the Central Asian front is the more, what we would call mobile front line there, where it's a lot more open ground, and the Mongols are not content to just take province after province. That's what these guys are doing. The Japanese, the Koreans, the Vietnamese. I think they're going to go straight to help out the Commonwealth. I would too, but not until Bukhara's out of the war. This is all we're sending for now, because it's going to take a couple of more weeks till they get back here. But we're bringing a lot of extra firepower. here comes more reinforcements, which would get their morale up, but our morale is being lowered. So again, he's the one with the shock, but whereas he's a bit even on everything. Also, the leader trait of Rufus, Ahmed Amasmandulu, doesn't have any leadership traits yet. We'll be there in 12 days, and then it'll be another couple of days. God. Oh. And they're about to pick up more. I don't know if we can hold it. There is some doubt with this, even though they took a river crossing, but it's not highlands, which would be very advantageous to us. So I think what we should do, if we do indeed hold the line, put the vast majority of those troops over there. And now we're going to try to let them go up this way, and then we'll get up in the mountains and kill them off easy. Just can't get there fast enough. Neither could they. Hang on. There. Slow down on the time here. Now we're outnumbered. It all depends on the dice rolls. Dice rolls would have to make a difference until they come here. Just hold on to hope. No retreat. Fire mode. It's for me. But now reinforcements are just very little lesser regiments. They've sent in their best. We've sent our best. But we still got more reinforcements coming if they can hold on here, despite the lowered morale. Oh no, that's bad. They'll kill us with shock. And then fire mode, advantage us. Just a couple more days. We're mauling them under fire. Under fire mode, that's when we're at our best. Shock is when they're at their best, even though that's our specialty. Where the hell are they retreating to? They're retreating all the way down there, or into Ottoman territory, which would be very, very dangerous. Or other hard battle in Sopron. And they're going to there to likely defeat the Commonwealth forces there. There's no way the Venetians will save them in time. Reinforcements are about to arrive on the 16th. Just landed. For the love of God, help. It's under shock phase, and that's our handicap. We're losing quite a bit of morale. But they already sent in their best reinforcements nearby. Get up there! We'll be there on the 25th. Can you hold on? We'll be there on the 20th, so this will help them keep fighting. It's the hardest defensive battle ever. Just hold on for 4 more days. 4 more days. We're killing them, but our morale is, we're losing it. Alright, fire phase, our turn. Reinforcements arrive. And the next 4 days, more will arrive, and they will pull back. And we gotta distribute on where to deploy. My God. You rest up until you are fully reinforced. And you'll be sent to Persian Front. So again, we have a flow of reinforcements coming with them. And all that. So it's like, yes, we have the numbers, but we just don't have the morale. Based on us, again, the only military related I just went for was quality and offensive. It's our traditions with the cavalry of how we do it. Discipline's up there. Again, did what we could for the infantry combat ability. Cavalry combat ability, even though this is only temporary. And flying battery, it's just based on policies. And we just did. Again, we do very well on fire, more so of artillery. When it comes to shock, that's the cavalry's job. And our army tradition is at its highest now. Everybody's at their very best. But the morale of armies isn't really the greatest, but it's the best we could do. And none of these advances will be made during wartime. Except for administrative tech, but that's administrative tech, how it is. Money's not an issue other than inflation. Just had to take a brief pause on this chaotic battle, knowing it's about to reach its climax. Battle of Shushtar. 4 days. 5 days. Can you hold on for 4 more days? That's the question. They're retreating. They pulled back. Stop here. They can't take it anymore. They realized reinforcements are coming and they were like, no way. They're gonna pull back. We won. But now what about these Bukharan forces? About why are they retreating this way? That's opening up to them. In 2 months or so, we will send you to the Persian Front. We just need volunteers, basically. We need volunteers to go to the Egyptian front. The Ottomans' war enthusiasm is medium, so we've really killed a lot of them, but it's going to take a lot more than that. Yeah, we expected that battle, so want to lose out here. Led by the leader of the Commonwealth. And the King of France is there. So it doesn't bode well for the Commonwealth. That's why we must assist them. Us, Mongols, possibly Korean or Japanese, when they're done Bukhara, they will be able to relieve them. While this is remains the main front line here. So they couldn't take it. Despite the great victory, oh my god! So we took over 60,000 casualties, but the Ottomans, I'd never seen this many infantry losses on their end. And yes, army tradition is at the max. And yes, it took us a... So the one general wasn't enough and had to be replaced with Bidar Bakrana. I think we should transfer him. He will be the general of the Persian Front, and then whoever's the second best general, if I remember his name, he will be the volunteer to go to the Egyptian front. Because we need at least 5 armies to be sent to Egypt, just to draw some of the Ottomans this way, and then we can make offensive moves. Starting in lower Iraq. They've sent in their best. And again, they started this many, nearly 15,000 infantry, and they lost over... Oh, wait, not 15,000. Do the math again. Nearly 1,500,000 infantry, and they lost 1,100,000, leaving with... I've never seen this many infantry losses. And plus, they had a disadvantage of taking a river crossing. I guess it is comparable to World War I in a way, when you think about the Western Front. The Persian Front is our own Western Front, where they just went over the top, sent in a lot of infantry this way, and we were just massively killing them with either by artillery or cavalry or the skills of the infantrymen of the Mughal army. And there, at the end, the lion and the sun still stands. This flag is the witness to the nation's power. But yet patriotic zeal, what good would that do when it comes to practical combat? I don't know what their prestige is to an extent for the Ottomans. But after that big defeat, that's gonna hurt them a little. But so did for us. Hormuz is getting up to the war exhaustion. That's because we keep blockading their coasts. And maybe this is their way to get them out of the war. Is to blockade them, just choke them out. Maybe we have to evenly distribute blockade. But Bukhara, they're still gonna keep on going. Because they still got the great military strength. But still, we have not taken the relevant objective. If anyone's going to take Constantinople, it's up to the Commonwealth. It's not going to be us. So, again, names of battles. So this was the 3rd Battle of Shustar. And only had this much impact on the war score. So we're just going to look at other fronts very briefly. Strait of Lombok. Okay, the Australian fleet's going back to where they were as they defeated the British fleet. Even though it's mainly transport, which was a mistake. And I understand. Meanwhile, action continues over in British Mexico. And they've sent another French army into North America. And forces of British Mexico will have to assist the main British forces. As it is now apparent that they have not taken all of British Alaska. Now they're going to go chase the British Alaskans. Again, we are stabilizing this front, but should we go on the offensive is the other question. Stop here. You were participants of that battle. You should all be honored. Anyone who is 30,000 strong or maintain most of their strength is to advance. We intended that this would be the spring counteroffensive, and now the late spring, early summer offensive, and we'll be willing to go as far as Baghdad. Possibly to Tikrit. Because this is farmlands, this is good, fertile territory, and there are many advantages of fighting in marshes when we have to make a stand, including river crossings. So we have to take these areas. Well, we figured out our moves, so we gotta draw them into this way. And then until we stabilize the front where we have to pull back, for whatever reason, and then send 5 armies. We'll defeat the Yemenese fleet, and then we'll make our way into Egypt and defeat the garrisons there, which taking those over would definitely hurt them. But my goodness, the scene of the most chaotic fighting. Look at the devastation. Again, most of that devastation is due to it's currently under siege. And over in Europe, not so good. Extremely worse over there if anybody traverses these areas, as we're causing some devastation into the open plains here due to occupation. More reinforcements still on the way. Although alternatively, it would be faster if you could just take up transport. I mean, how many of you? We're both 30,000, and you're 30,000 as well. You know what? No! Turn around! Head to Tata. We'll pick you up. Why walk when you can take up transport? We'll send you to the Persian Front quickly this way. It's a ferry service of the First Fleet. Okay, so the offensive towards Iraq. To try to capture these areas that has river crossings, that would be advantage to us in the defense and holding a line and all that. So, anyone who is fresh. Okay. So I was thinking, who are the most stable in terms of numbers? The one who is, you know, have their numbers reduced or not to be part of this. Most of you are willing. It's good to know. But unfortunately, there's far too many leaders. But the ones who are less drilled, they're not going to participate. And the ones who are more capable are more than welcome to join the offensive, and then we'll spread things out here. Anyone who took severe casualties, I mean, after all, this is going to take up a lot of manpower. Only 28,000 will be used by my armies this month. So it's going to take, I don't know, we won't recover for about a year. So this is why these forces are here. This is to relieve them. To relieve the badly beleaguered forces who will take part of this. The ones who are fresh will take part of the offensive. Ones are not are going to have to stay back, guard the mountains, guard the Zagros, and wonder what the Bukhara armies are up to. So you two will not be part of this. Let the forces under the command of Beda Bakrana, who is our best general of the Persian Front as of this moment, and Khan Baksh Shahadabuddin, who is this other general who, you know, one thing is like our backup in case he dies or something. I mean, skill-wise, he's very good with fire compared to him being evenly distributed. So there are similar skills. So these 5 armies here will be the one to take part of this offensive. And we'll deal with anyone else who's in the way. Those that remained, well, we can evenly distribute. So you'll go through there. And another back there. And those who are still relatively quite fresh after a long journey. I mean, the point of this offensive is, and yes, including myself, Bubba, we'll have to sit out on this one. You guys are going to be relief. These 2 armies are to be deployed up here. And the other 2 to Avaz. And as of that one, to Avaz as well. To later join the offense. And we're about to create a brand new army as it's being assembled, though the artillery will soon come a little later. I wonder, where is Bukhara going? It feels like they're going in our territory. Or worse, Khorasan. Well, we will continue our offensive moves in Central Asia to try to occupy most of Bukharan territory and try to destroy their army. Because that's the only way to defeat them and get them out of the war. And already, this war has exceeded 1 million casualties. That was to be expected. Let's go. Let's get moving. We know what to do now. We only sent this many armies to... You got enough military power. Breach their walls, so this garrison will fall. This will relieve Sistar temporarily. Sistar, Koramban, and Avas. Basically all of Khuzestan is to be relieved, as this is becoming a bit of a war-ridden place. Oh, never mind that one. Hamdan's much worse because of peasant revolt. So we thought we should pay them back in kind when we make this minor offensive up to Iraq. What we should do is we should just get up to as far as to Crete. Or what's the area here? Yes, about as far up as Iraq Arabi. In which we will do that and practice scorched earth. Deny the enemy of the use of some of the more developed territories like here. Hurt them a bit, hurt their manpower reserves, just destroy everything that they have. Although you can't destroy buildings. I didn't know this area is of a World Trade Center. Capturing this is vital for the Basra trade node. And there is a merchant present there belonging to the Ottomans. Taking away Basra and Baghdad, just occupying but not actually take them and core them, would hurt their economy a little bit, but not by much. And since they took huge losses, horrific losses, this is definitely going to hurt their manpower reserves for a year to come, knowing how much that they've spent just to throw this many at us. And wherever battle is to be fought, we will deal with them. As they're being transferred now. Yeah, they're retreating in our territory, so they are gonna go down here, so this concerns me. Or are they going down to Hormuz? New Japanese monarch. Want to re-establish the royal marriage? I'd rather have you send a message to me, not, you know, you to... Wait. And they have not engaged. Well, they are currently besieging an area, so it'll take a while. As we take a while to get them over here. So until they assemble that data, and it'll be sent to the Persian Front. Ottomans. Which Ottoman forces are we talking about exactly? I mean, I recall some of them are in retreat still. Well, there's others, so you probably want to hold off on that. You probably commit to there instead. Who's going to shot? Oh, just these smaller armies. We're just gonna, you know, pick them off one by one. But I don't like the idea of Bukharan troops that are moving in through our territory, and they're likely gonna land in Mazandaran or Khorasan. Worse, if it's Ottoman territory, then that means that'll bolster their forces participating even more. But now it appears the Commonwealth is gonna put their focus towards them. I only chuckle because I chuckled nervously. Nervous. We gotta get them to be friendly. They don't have to be allies unless they ask for it. Even if they were to ask, imagine them trying to join the war alongside of us. They wouldn't contribute much, but every little bit of Navy will do. They've occupied all of Mara's territories. So where they are going? Still in retreat. Yes, still in retreat. Try not to worry too much. Wherever battle's gonna be fought, we will fight them. And we'll be in positions just to keep watch what the Bukharans are up to. So that means Murad Shah Singh, Babu, and Adam Shah Chagatai will be the generals to deal with the beleaguered Bukharan army. We're getting there. Occupations are ongoing. The war enthusiasm is back up. That was temporary due to Commonwealth fleets blockading. Move up. Just one more province and then immediately go for Bashkiristan. They're just old castles. And they'll be out of the war easy. About it. That Commonwealth fleet's gonna get themselves destroyed. Horrifically outnumbered. But getting Bashkiria out of the war will relieve them. Especially Bukhara then. And then those Asian forces can finally go to either Europe or to the Persian Front. As an army is being assembled in bulk, which will be sent to Europe. We have to take the long way. We can't transport them this way because that'll be too costly. We're never going to transport troops to land to, say, Florence and Genoa. Would be nice, but I think it'll be better to assist the Commonwealth this way. Alright, move in. Actually, hold the line. This area's not fallen yet. Once it's fallen in 5 days, then we'll advance together. Just occupy the highlands. Just be mindful of your positioning from this far away. But I think it'll be better if you stay here. Just wait. Took you a while. Okay. Go straight for Baghdad. You'll be heading to there. You'll be heading to there. How do you take Basra? Go assist them. Ah, yes, the Rajput army. The 6th Army. I know some of them were depleted, but they were reinforced earlier. So we still have some old, wily veterans. Well, there's new recruits as they were being put on manpower. You'll be heading to Baghdad too. That army you lead is the one with no cavalry, but still, fully drilled in, plenty of artillery. Maybe he should have led the Rajput 6th Army. But again, mostly infantry, but so I guess. You know what? Move into this one. You're the one with the land fire damage, and the Rajput armies are known for their land fire damage. And more so with them. So I don't think these Rajputs, I mean, it's like, yeah, they took some casualties fighting against the Turks, but they really need to stand out. It's that regimental pride. We're just taking them out. The seeds of greatness. Taking the lessons of the Enlightenment at heart, a group of noble landowners have begun to work on improving the efficiency of agriculture, pioneering inventions in how to use machinery for seed distribution, new crops and new forms of land rotation, breeding the local landowners of Sirhind to enable greatly improve the local output of food. Agricultural revolution for basically the remainder of this war and next 10 years. So when they leave, you advance. As they're still in total retreat. Again, you still have the message on, including kill. You'll know when they make peace. As well as the notification to call to arms for them to join. And to know when Morocco will. Okay, they're friendly with us. Ask fleet basing rights. This will charge us the fee of 0.7 gold. Okay, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Just what I wanted to hear from you. But if you ask me for alliance, I'll accept it, but I can't ask you. You only ask me. Because that's how it goes. You know what that means. You'll be sent to the Persian Front, and then we'll pick out volunteers of who to go to Egypt. So now that they're out of there, 167 ships. I'm leaving this one fleet here. This is just to fight off against the Yemeni fleet whenever we begin to deploy to Egypt. There's that French fleet out there, which they're just moving up this way. Precarious. Unless the Vietnamese wants to take care of them. I mean, it's nearby their sea zone. What's going on? Okay, they're about to defeat the French fleet way down in the Cape of Good Hope. Clearing our way there, so they've completed their African expedition. Now, what they need is, they need to get out of this and be sent to another front line. Meanwhile, well, there's about to be another hard battle. Due to lack of control of a hostile fortress. It's desert, so there's no terrain advantages, but Army of the Atlantic will be fighting against the 10th Army of Great Britain. But I don't think they'll be assisted. Movement's not locked yet, so they're not committed. Situation's unchanged in Alaska. They're starting to build their fleet now. Makes me want to send a gift to 13 colonies. Well, actually, money's not the problem. It's the lack of sailors is what they needed. They're getting rid of pretender rebels there, and then they will go participate. Spain, Portugal's not doing anything. Neither is Florida. How can you imagine if Florida wishes to ally with me? You know, we never done a damn thing to each other. But they sympathize with the French, giving them access, so I have issues with that. So. Oh, we forgot about this fleet. Oh, you'll follow us. No doubt. Okay. To Morocco. We'll make a safe port here to take a break to make repairs after a long travel, long journey. And this will also be further assisted, and then we will begin operations in the Mediterranean next year. So we got that out of the way. Meanwhile, we're clearing the way. Baths are occupied, but we will go no further there. This is just to cut off their trade. Just to hurt their trade here. And then if we have to retreat, use scorched earth. If we want to withdraw to the highlands. Out of time. America, Shockman. But not gonna matter. We're taking minimum casualties as we fought in Baghdad. Thanks to the performance of the Rajputs, I would have to assume, of whoever participated in this battle. That's a lot of prestige added to our name. Oh my god, we just suspected that they thought we were gonna do. Pull back. We gotta deal with Bukhara forces. Now that you all arrived, Persian Front. This is just for you to take their place. That's why we're sending more armies to the Persian Front. They're gonna pull back and deal with the remaining Bukhara forces. Their war enthusiasm is medium right now, but we need them to get their war enthusiasm low. To do so, we gotta destroy their army. Because they're gonna get caught, thus delaying their participation. Oh yeah, I forgot about you guys. How about that? Forgot about you guys long ago. You came from Yarkand, right? Come on in. Oh god. To only make matters worse, they're committing themselves to the Persian Front. Get together. Stop them. Straight to the capital, now. You're the one of artillery, right? What siege skill you have? 4. Ah, yes, you're the siege man. And so is he. Oh, you go up there. We'll stick close to y'all. It's Slavonia and Croatia. French forces are going to be on their way very soon. Commonwealth forces are dealing with mainly forces of Florence, led by the man who's currently leading that country. Which, mind you, Florence is a republic. An old man at that. But they took a river crossing penalty. They got the discipline. They have them around. But obviously Commonwealth have way more infantry and artillery left, which soon to be relieved by the French. And a small number of Venetian forces. Trentino has fallen. No. It's this fortress you're looking for. That one hasn't fallen yet. That's why they're stubbornly held out. Well, we're definitely killing off their armies pretty quickly, and that means more manpower reserves are regained, thus getting more. So this is why occupation is rather important. It's just to stop them from recruiting. But it's likely we may have to, go help them destroy the Bukharan forces over there. Just as suspected. This is a mountains area, they're gonna have the advantage, but we have the advantage in manpower. Just as we ordered. And the fleets are on their way to Morocco. Just to continue the offensive. Okay, one's pulling back. We had to scare one away, but we'll definitely destroy this one. They'll be there on the 7th, so the mountains will be theirs. Shall we wait for the others? I don't know. I mean, we're going to take severe casualties regardless. And now more reinforcements are on their way to the Persian Front to basically take their place as they're going to go fight off this one. And as well as getting ready for their counteroffensive from the Ottomans. Bastards. Again, that's what got caught. Artillery. Get one more. Just to make up for it. Present. Present. Baghdad's ours. Just stick together, and we'll come out on top. To position yourself here. Artillery's gonna get caught too. Deal with them. Whoa there! Bukhara army sighted. Fortunately, our great general will face them. But at least we're a little too far now. Now there's going to be 2 battles. But this is steps, so it's even ground. And I don't think there'll be much of any relief from them. Really taking up the sailors. Oh my goodness, that's a huge French fleet. And it's possible that the Mughal fleets will be engaging them. But we have many admirals. So stop here. Nearest British port is Walvis Bay. We gotta stop here. Do we really include all of the fleets that are in being? All 4 of... Yeah. Where are you going? Upwards, up north. Okay. So we gotta stop there because we realize there's a French fleet moving to Grain Coast. So they're moving along there. They're likely gonna take up there. And then if we see them in our sights, engage them. While a hard battle is about to take place up in the mountains of Kazuran. But honestly, we could have fought in... Nope, we're already committed to this. Battle's about to begin. And soon another battle up in the plains, too. As we have taken Baghdad. Move up to Tikrit. Got it? Yeah, we lost that battle because of what's going on up there. Just a few more days and then we will destroy the Bukharan army. And hopefully their morale will be, war enthusiasm will be low enough to get them out of the war. Because they're back to being high now. Well, that's about to change when we destroy them. We can get there fast enough. But other larger forces, well, they haven't attempted to go anywhere else. If they go up the mountains, bad move for them. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to get them to draw away from Khuzestan. And these guys that we sent to go, so probably you're the ones that are going to go to Egypt. Since you were the last ones to arrive. Light ships up there. If the Japanese were to engage, it'll be grand. Don't mind that independent daimyo, it's a tributary. It gives them administrative power, that's what they're paying tribute to. As they have committed their forces on the ground. So let's focus on 2 battles. So when they arrive to relieve them, it'll be textbook. Unfortunately, the man is ruthless, and our best general on the scene is Islam Shah Chagatai. Our morale should overcome them, as well as our superior numbers, as they're not gonna commit. And meanwhile, our talented general. They had I could have sworn they had a general. I think he was killed in action or redeployed in time, but we can't guarantee that he redeployed at time. I didn't even catch his name. So he might have been killed in action, so that's to our advantage. Without a general, they're screwed. Think we will overcome. Meanwhile, we've already overcome them. We've really killed off their infantry and cavalry. It's only artillery that remained. I think the overall best general of the war is Jin Timur Sinan, but he's the one that's going to go to Europe to help out the Commonwealth eventually. So the way is clear. So he must go up and get Bashkiria out of that war. The original plan. And then soon this will be deployed to Europe to combat. And meanwhile, we're gonna get them out eventually. They can't hold on forever. We had to fight in the mountains because we were forced to. No, you go up there. You stay there. You pull back. Attrition is gonna become a real issue later on. And these armies that are scattered out, they'll be back. They'll definitely be back. I don't think we'll save this artillery piece in time. In fact, it's 2 artillery. We killed them all. Good. Islam Shah Chagatai, goal-oriented. Gives them faster movement speed. And hurry up and destroy this one. And then return to the Persian Front. You're all going to be needed again. And it appears the Commonwealth did win the Battle of Slavonia. And they're gonna become dangerously close towards Warsaw, its capital. So it would be of utmost urgency to take Bashkiria out. Let's begin negotiations with Bukhara. You want out? So what do you want? territory and money. I want none of those territories. But I don't mind giving more lands to Mongolia. So in other words, I say no to territorial gains for us. Even though we have claims to it, but I don't want them. Any of them from Mongolia will do. No, that's Mughals. Oh, it's pillage, says. To Mongolia, Mughals, Mughals. Oh, they haven't occupied it yet. And a lot of money. And pillage subsequently. And enforced military access? No. If we do that now, we can redeploy our forces, save our artillery pieces, and all that. And then Bashkiria will be next. Don't need to pillage, but enforced military access will do. Okay, how about take less money? Because money's not that important to me. But giving territories to the Mongols will be good. Because that Bukhara has been a problem. I'm glad we're out of this. Free up a diplomat for that. 500,000 allies dead now. Yeah, we're putting you back on the world stage, huh? So now the Mongols, Japanese, Koreans, Vietnamese forces, and wherever Lan Na is of their deployment, they could put their focus either on here or go to Europe. And soon we'll get Bashkiria out, and then we'll hopefully bring some relief to the Commonwealth. Because Bashkirias appear to be heading into our direction, and we need them out of that war now. Okay, as you were. How we redeploy. And to the Persian Front with you then. No access for us. It's just these European nations, especially in the Holy Roman Empire, they need to be defeated. You know, of its current deployment, but they got a very good general in Stephanus. So, you know, it's I think they can handle themselves to try to defeat them off to defend the homeland until help arrives. Well, meanwhile, rest in Walvis Bay a bit. If you're taking any damage on your travels, well then, rest easy. You know, since we got so many admirals, doesn't hurt to get one more. Because this is the one that's supposed to be for fight off against the Yemenis, so give me one more. 3 fire, 3 shock, 1 maneuver, 2 siege. He'll be the admiral of this fleet. And despite this, we still have not taken the relevant objective. War enthusiasm full. Venice is medium, and so is Commonwealth. Because they just don't have the military strength. Can get Bashkiria out, and then things will get easier. Athenian forces have not participated. Because, well, why would they? So, we got Morocco. Revolutionary Tunis is still around. And it would take a long while to... So, we can imagine having a port there. It does not use up diplomatic relations of what we just did with Morocco. It's good to know. We're not asking for any alliances. But we'll begin to improve relations with them as well. We're doing very well on the offensive, but we don't want to get too overextended because... I don't know. We did set up what we had to do. That was the objective. But summer's not over yet. I guess we can go one more. Told one army to pull back. At the Sinjar. They're still on the way. Put them in reserve. While we will redeploy and then we'll figure out... So it's like, okay, now we got them off our backs. But I think it'll be easier now to open up the second front, which will happen sooner than later. Just smaller forces, don't worry about it. Kambash Shabudin. Again, this is going to be the general that will follow our great general in case he were to die, and this would be his replacement. He's a glory seeker. So now these two. Even though we deployed them in different ways, but you get what I mean. Looks like they may be coming back. So hold your positions. And then we'll figure out the deployment for the rest of them. So we'll know when to strike back. And we still have one more army on the way. And then once the assembling is complete, then we'll begin deployment in Europe. Bashkiria has no fort, so it'll be easy. Yeah, the summer Iraqi offensive continues. They're scared of us. How far can we go? Follow us. All of you are in good condition. Alright, let's get moving. There might be a French fleet out there. Be aware. You're not going on a patrol. You're here to rest in Morocco a bit after your travels. And then the latter part of that year and into the next, we will take part in Mediterranean operations. Things are escalating. Let me see. 261,000 of French. So that's over 100,000 deployed in North America, including a small bit that came from Alaska. Good to know. Take the damn fort. Need to knock Bashkiria out of the war. Oh yes, the great light ship fleet. About to defeat the Australian fleet out there. The terrain up there, is it all drylands from there? There's drylands, and there's highlands. Huh. And you know the development of this territory is pretty good, so it might give them some effect, but not a lot. That's why redeploying a good portion of their forces, and that's why we have 2 transport fleets out here to be sent to Egypt. So they're scared of us now. Keep going, don't stop. We're just waiting for them to make their move. Cabinet of Curiosities had this event before. Just keep that... Well, actually... Since the ulama are loyal, lower the stability cost. You know what? Should patronize religious institutions. That's all. Mosque is built there. In case if Babur II dies during this war, you need to get the... Well, actually, you have the administrative power. You'll be fine when you boost it. All we need to do is get on good graces with Tunis to give us fleet basing rights. So we have a place to repair to in case if Venice is too crowded. That's their entire navy. And we have more ships than that, but we have our reasons. And I don't know if our heavy ships will perform well in the Mediterranean. We've sighted the French fleet. They're the ones that's been giving them transports, deploying them to America and all that. I don't know if... I doubt that we'll catch them, but... we just want to go to Morocco. That's all. Breach it, damn it! What the hell are you waiting for? Now they're beginning to make moves towards us, but Gentimo Sinan ain't scared of them. It'll take a while for y'all to be reinforced. Again, opening up a second front, draw some of them away, and then we get much more chance. Right, hell, we could march through and go all the way to Constantinia. But the problem is the Navy. We can't go through there. That's why it's up to them. It's up to them for our way to Constantinia. But we need to kill off their armies by not only kill them off, but occupy these territories. When you occupy more of them, the less that they will recruit. That's how it's gonna go. And subsequently, we gotta help the Commonwealth because they are about to lose their capital and they may lose their participation in this war. Mamluk's war enthusiasm is low. Let's negotiate with them. What do you want? But the problem is, we never had any issues against you. Unless you just say white peace. Or some money involved. Because we have 0 war score against you. I mean, we could deploy our forces and all that. But say no. No. Just call it white peace. The war enthusiasm is low and it's gonna make the Mamluks just fight against Killa. Bring their attention to them. Meaning more enemies for the slaughter. And that's what they're doing right now. With the forces of Killa. Just go for it. We never fired at a Mamlukian soldier in anger. But they're out of the war. Because, again, their participation is because of that ongoing war. We consider this as a proxy war to the Great War. That's ongoing. And I need their trust. Counter-revolutionaries in Kermanshah. The subversive ideals of Spanish Revolution has taken hold of Kermanshah, perverting the natural order of things. However, right-thinking members of the nobility will not accept this state of affairs without a fight. They rallied their forces and they promised to drive the revolutionaries out. Kermanshah to give them our support. They have our support. Enemy forces in Basra. Ready? We can destroy them here. And I believe it'll take this many. Islam Shah Tagatai, lead the charge. We'll destroy them all at once here. Heck, we might have to deploy on the Arabian front to eventually go to Hormuz. It's right next door. These guys don't contribute much. And Yemen, they do contribute. So we're drawing the big armies away from there. So they're likely going to go the back way. But we can't go to Constantinia. And taking the long way around would be counterproductive. Because otherwise this would endanger our ally there. If the Commonwealth is backed out of that war, then it's going to make our job harder. This area has not fallen yet. Despite our efforts. But based on their direction, they're on their way eastward, no, westward. It's going to take time. And they'll likely contribute to the European operations next year. Hey, is it possible to land there? Yes. But that's just in case if we were to engage them. Which I can't guarantee everything. But the focus now is here in Basra. Across the river, fighting in Marshalin. Rud. We're definitely gonna kill him here. We don't know much of this general other than he's good with shock. morale is very, very high. As we all well know. Here's on a... That's Kurdish company. You know what? Destroy them here. Fight in Raqqa. Just in case. No. I come down here. You too. Stay back. 92,000. Yeah, we're giving them a huge headache here. And I think we'll have to stop this offensive short. I'm saying that. So I guess we reach here, but the winter's gonna kill us. But owning the farms will do a lot of good for us in the supply limit. Just have to distribute the forces evenly. So Iraq's our place to be, in fact. When an army is in position to Baghdad, build a supply depot. This adds even more supply. In fact, we should build supply depots throughout. You have the military power. Get a ton of money. Why on earth are you standing there? Build supply depots in areas that are needed the most. Area, not necessarily the whole, you know. Area they're talking about Khuzestan. So, okay, supply depot, Khuzestan, Basra, Iraq, Arabi. These are the areas to build supply depots, because after we fight against them, gotta pull back, rest up, reinforce, and then next year we will conduct a great offensive, quite possibly towards all of Anatolia. We may have to forget about the Egyptian plan, after all, because we're doing so well, but their large armies still loom. But we can't guarantee where they're going. And you got 3 days, and you need to get to the Commonwealth quickly. Scare them away. They withdrew. I mean, we weren't trying to join the battle. We were just simply moving. We're just redeploying, that's all. Hell y'all afraid of? Who did not take part? Bashkortostan. Consider Bashkiria out, despite the medium more enthusiasm, but we do have war score against them. What do you need? What do you want? Besides pillaging, of course. I mean, there'll be no returning course to anyone relevant, or at least certain nations. So we'll say yes to this. Can reach fast enough, so the way is clear to Europe. Consider it done. Hardly fought against them. Go to Warsaw. It's where you'll be heading. And as for these troops here, there's an obstacle in the way, a castle. So we have to get Hormuz out of the war. The blockade has been having quite an effect, but it's not much. Well, Kill is yet to join the war. There's Lana. Should we take this Highlands? It's got good supply. It's castle, but it's Highlands. This is part of Kurdistan area. He's not good at siege, but go ahead. Just take it, breach it, take it over, and then we'll relieve ourselves in the winter. Just pull back and maybe give it scorched earth on our way out. Because I don't know what they're considering, but I know what we're thinking. Islam Shah Chagatai, lead the charge. You'll follow. We'll back you up. And stay here and build a supply depot for the Basra area. Yes, supply depot in the area in Avaz, for example, because we didn't build that here. Winter will be coming soon, and soon will be the end of the episode. We'll plan on ending it by this year. No leader here. Just maul them. His siege skill has one, so go help the good general. He might as well be your subordinate. Can't go here. These are Hormuzian. Hormuzi? Or Hormuzian? What's the nationality? Hormuz. But be careful, they might come back. So after you occupy this area, begin your withdrawal. And build one more supply depot here for this area. So we're just providing all the good supplies so we don't get killed off by attrition. So we're gonna have to rest up this winter. After we take one more fortress, then we'll pull back. They can retake it if they want to. And they'll be on their way. Yes, they did take some attrition. And they're gonna rest up a bit, and they'll be deployed in the Mediterranean during winter. And go hunt and kill the Ottoman fleet. Provide a blockade to Samarra, and the door to Constantinople will be open. It's nice to see Venice and Commonwealth working together, but their capital's in danger. We won't get there in time, but we will try to avenge them. As long as we don't get Ottomans in our way. But we do need to lure them over here. Ready? Rocket taken. Grant take. Okay. Even though you're called 37th Army, you will be headed to there and then go all the way to Warsaw. Europe needs your help. Perhaps we are inadvertently sending them all this way. Yeah, that'll stop them. I guess we're practically doing well for ourselves of this entire war. Breach. We need to pave the way towards Hormuz. And blockade will also open a siege. Yas is also part of it, so we'll have to get rid of them too. Hey, you're late. Welcome. Pull back. We gotta begin distributing forces on where to place. Okay, one more supply depot now in this area. Come back, all of you. There's supply limit enough for at least 2 armies to stand, so we won't take as much attrition damage. While offensive operations will continue down here, as it's obviously more temperate climate. As I said, help the good subordinate general of yours in that complex. But I'm not back. Once the garrison surrenders, we will pull back. Go up. You know, since all their Hormuzian troops are over there, so that means we're getting a blockade over here. And then after Hormuz, then Yas, and then Yemen. Unless you want to transport your way there, and go over there. How much money? Safe transport alternatively through Kilwan Lower Yemen. Speaking of that, no, not yet. Where are they going? Morocco's not involved in this war. We won't have an alliance with them, although we could, but what good would that do? Ships are fully repaired. So let's head to the Aegean. Our first action towards there. Because the Commonwealth has taken over an area. So that'll draw them out. And they're throwing more and more forces this way. Commonwealth are getting themselves killed in this. I mean, they're about to win this one battle. But they'll try to get there. It's the fastest route. This one you should be concerned of. So we're beginning an immediate withdrawal. Well, not all the way, because I see what they're doing. They gotta take this area fast before the highlands terrain is gonna be our downfall. Nope, they're following us. They're chasing us. How many days? 7. Okay. Give them 7 days. 7 days. If this castle does not fall in 7 days, we're gonna have to pull back and help them out. Because it looks like we're about to have a massive battle over here. Stop going over there. Deployed here. Forces of Yemen, they're in our It's dry land, so of course they would go for that. But even if they do that, then, I mean, it's going to be just another obstacle. Forces of Mongolia are probably going to come down there just to get it unoccupied. Why aren't you force... Okay. Good. Why are you force marching? Find your fastest route and go straight to Warsaw. Morale is low, so they're being relieved, but forces of Venice will be there. Why don't you march faster? No way you'll win that way. Pull back. It's all drylands from here, so there's no terrain advantages. So that occupation of Raqqa is nothing. There's another obstacle. Haleb, Aleppo. There's no real crossing between here and Sinjar, is there? No. Advantage us. Whoa. Get ready. Follow us. Come on, move up. I have to go too. Our first deployment in the Mediterranean. We sunk a Genoese ship. In fact, there were plenty of them out there. The Venetian and Mughal Navy, so we sunk one. Our first deployment of combat. Heading to the Ionian Sea. Well, we will meet there too. Halt! Wait for the others. Okay. Now, remember, our safest nearby port is in Kataro. Why are you scared? We need your galleys to defeat their galleys. We're the ones with the big guns, with only a few galleys. So, massive battles to be taking place here. Go. Massive naval battle will begin on 2nd of December. Okay, we will end this episode on two major battles. Battle in Rabbah and the Ionian Sea. All forces move in. We've got to convince them not to come over there and relieve them. Why do you retreat? I mean, I think I know what the land battle is going to be like. So... So we're committed. Sea battle begins. Humayun Jahan is the best out of all of us. I'm glad we brought the one to the flagship. They got a flagship of their own. See to if we can sink that, because this one's already taken damage. Good shock. Even though Humayun isn't really skilled at shock, but still. They're all galleys. They're easy to sink with heavy ships. In fact, it's only our heavy ships that are deployed. But it's only the heavy ships that are... Again, this is deployment 67 in reserve. Many more light ships in reserve. They have no admiral. And this Venetian fleet, well, this is to cut them off with their reinforcements because they're going to try to bring their admiral over here. But it's not heading our way. My God, are they really that committed? Commonwealth ships are moving to the Gulf of Balma. So they're going to try to help out the Venetian fleet while we are taking care with their grand fleet. Sunk one. Saxony remains Holy Roman Emperor. Ottoman flagship sunk. I was watching their percentages go down. So, Merat is up here. Sunk. There goes their best. So, I mean, we don't have much of a naval tradition ourselves, but we only sunk their heavy ships. If they had galleys deployed in our heavy ships, we would have mauled them. Let's help them out. Wow, hard battle in Rava. And they're committed to it. They've joined. They withdrew. Okay, stop. 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 Let's rest for the winter, shall we, boys? And that means you too. And some of you will be in the front lines just to remain sentry. That brought their attention. And we're in Commonwealth territory now. And it appears that simultaneously the Commonwealth had held off the enemy. Warsaw is no longer under siege. Hope is still alive. Hope is not dead yet. And we will cap off December and this episode. This other naval battle in Gulf of Balma. We sunk their flagship and now we're going to sink a few more together. Just a few of them. Venetian, Commonwealth, Mughal navies. Nobody could have dreamt of a Mughal navy. Some of them have punched a few holes in there. And I see that French fleet there. Now that we have deployed safely into the Mediterranean, and while they're gonna patch a couple of holes in, Commonwealth will defeat the Ottoman army there. Let's go take care of the Genoan fleet. And then after we're done with that, safest port is actually here in occupied territory by Commonwealth. This has a shipyard. Yes. Faster repairs. It's joined. Venice has chosen to have a golden era. Good way to get yourself motivated. Thank you. Yeah, they're definitely redeploying over here. Just let the winter dime off while we will just harvest the farmlands and supply depot we built. It's our own winter quarters. Commonwealth defeated the Ottoman army there. We're still on our way to Warsaw for further deployment. We saved the Commonwealth fleet from being destroyed by the Navy, and we captured 9 transports ourselves. I think we already had one, but we captured 8 more, and 1 more went to the Commonwealth. And we destroyed the entire Genoese fleet. So, well done. When they are redeployed again, we will send them out and destroy them. Now that they have a admiral. So the Mughal can stand toe-to-toe with the Ottoman Navy. And many more hard battles are to come, as we will end the episode on that note. Huh. So who knows? Casualties continue to mount. Offensive operations continue. And all that and more for this Great War portion of the Delhi Mughals series. Until the next episode, so long for now.